Alright, welcome back everybody. In the meantime, I touched the paint up a little bit here and there. I swapped that drain plug there. I put the oil pressure switch and oil pressure sending unit on. There's a little bit of paint on the filter. Doesn't mean anything. I haven't done the plug on this side because initially when I tore the engine down I actually broke one, so I need to get the small plug for that. But we're going to install the dipstick. Here's the mount. Paint's still just a hair tacky yet, but that ain't gonna stop us. So I'm gonna get this twisted into place. I can find it on the camera. I'm having a tough time doing this one-handed. Alright, I get a 3/8 wrench and tighten that down. That's the wrong size. That's too big. I just had the wrench. And nothing special, we're just going to snug this. You don't have to go extreme. Alright, and there's the dipstick. Let's see, what else did I say we were going to do? I was going to do the motor mounts, being sits on this side, and make it easier to mount, so I will probably do that instead of the lifters just quite yet, being I'm going to put oil in it, and it's just easier with everything upside down like this to do. So I'll get the stuff for that and we'll get back to it. Okay, so now let's get, like I say, we're going to do the motor mounts. This is the right side. If you flip the motor over and you're standing in front of it, it's the right side, but if you're in the driver's seat, it's actually the left or the passenger side. So usually if we're standing in front of the engine, left to right is what we do. So that's what we got here is this side. So I'm just going to get these somewhat started, and then I'm going to put some thread lock on just to hold it, I guess you could say. It may or may not affect it. From what I see, there wasn't any on it. Usually some bolts don't come loose, but I'm gonna put some thread lock. I'm using the blue. Is like I used before. This is the fuel pump holder bracket. That's what the fuel pump slides into. I'm not going to snug this up until the fuel pump is actually set. I can get a wrench in there. I do know later I'm going to have to probably loosen this to pivot this, because it's going to be in the way of the intake, which isn't a big deal. Hopefully you can see sliding that in. That filter will come off and stuff. That's still the old filter that's on there. There's still nasty water, mixed fuel in there. So get these snug down, set in there. There may be a couple other things I don't. Trying to think. I've been going back to my pictures to look at my pictures. So, I think I previously said, if you go to take something apart, take pictures. Because if you let it sit and come back to it months later, you don't remember what you did. Well, you go back to the pictures and you can see what it was. So that's what's saving me. Alright, now we're gonna snug these down. I don't remember what the torque spec is for it. I'll have to look. Probably 70 foot-pounds or something to that effect, I would imagine. But right now, I'm gonna snug them up by hand. I'll come back later. Check the torque on it. Let's see. All right, now, means I got that set. I'm gonna get inside with the wrench. Hopefully you can see where I'm working at. I'm inside the bracket for the fuel pump is where I'm working at. I'm not putting any thread lock on that. That's kind of a odd place, I think, really. Alright, let me see if I can spin this around to the other side. Alright, so this side has the motor mount and the I don't know, the heat exchanger or what specifically. It's actually a cooler for the power steering is basically what it is. Water runs through it, and also power steering fluid will run through. I'll show you that here in a sec. Having difficulties with the thread lock getting clogged up again. So yeah, I initially marked L and F on these. That way I knew, but I mean, I could kind of see the marks the way things mounted. It's like on the other side there was a mark for the bracket for the water fuel separator, and on this side it's got a single for the cooler, and the clog just came out and I just wasted a lot of thread lock. So we'll get these started down, and then I'll show you the power steering cooler. I guess that would make no sense to be what it would be called. So this is the power steering cooler. You see the nipples, there's two nipples, one here, one here. That's where the power steering, the water runs straight through this, so it's a cooler for the power steering pump. Get that set in, and we'll tighten it down. So if the hose is in the way, I can always take it off when I go to install the water pump. Some old power steering fluid leaking out of there. So we'll leave that towel there. This bracket right here would mount on a stud on the power steering pump. So I need to get this pretty much as straight as possible. Otherwise I might have to loosen it back up when I put the water pump on. And like I say, I'll have to look up what the motor mount torque specs are. So probably, I would imagine it's probably 70 foot-pounds. So that's that. motor mounts in perfect condition. So that's what we got. I got that rag there just in case it's on there. So basically that's what we got. And I tightened that nut down there. Remember, I tightened that up. And these motor mounts, I'll have to take a picture and cross this. I imagine the separator is probably the same thing as an oil filter, but we'll see when I cross it and do some research on it. It's kind of similar to diesel fuel filters, basically about the same thing. I don't know if you hear that sneezing, snorting, or whatever. Oreo seems to have a cold or something. Hey, Ori. Ori. Hi, buddy. What you doing? Hi, baby. So, we'll get this flipped over and start getting the oil in it. Being I've got that thing on, I'm gonna have to put the sending unit on, because that's an oil port on the top, and we'll show you that here in a minute. Alright, we got it flipped around. I got that pressure sending unit in, and now all the oil ports have been plugged or have their sending units or pressure switches in. Now we're going to pour the oil in it, and this is mainly, like I was saying before, because of the cam. Because of it's been sitting, and the oil's been wiped off or washed off the cam. So that's why I wanted to get this step in before I adjusted those rockers. You don't want to mess up your cam bearings. And I'm basically going to let that drip and sit. Might as well. I mean, no sense in wasting the oil. But yeah, that was a 1 1/4 gallon jug, 5 quarts. So yeah, it's upside down. Here we go. So get everything lubed up, and then I'm gonna stick a tool down in there. I thought I had got the correct thing to pump that up, but it's like, I thought this was, I think this was from a Ford, but I was really thinking this was from a 1500 Chevy pickup truck. I think that was when I did the Ford, but I thought I had got a junk distributor from the junkyard. Took the shaft out of the distributor, but apparently I didn't, because I looked in my bag and I'm not seeing it in my bag. If I did, I don't know where I put it. because I thought I had everything, because this is basically metric screwdrivers, hammers that bag that I take to the junkyard. And that's just dirty rags. There's nothing in there. So I may just make something up, heat it with a torch, flatten it out, because that's basically what it is. In the end of it is flat for a flat screwdriver. This is what the top I'm looking at right here. So this right here actually goes in it, but it doesn't go down in it far enough. It ain't long enough for me to actually put in the drill. I got something else to try, so we'll see about that. Alright, so we're ready to pump this up. I couldn't find my modified distributor, so I had to borrow Buddy's. I know I got one. I looked everywhere for it. Basically, if you go to make one, here's the distributor. Basically, you're taking from this top part up off, so all you're left with is basically this part down with the shaft, and you can see that here. This is actually what would set into the intake, but being I'm gonna adjust everything beforehand, and I need to pump this up because of lubrication on the cam. So it's basically just sits down in there like that. So let's see if I can do this one-handed. Should pump up pretty fast. It's the high volume oil pump. Set it down. It keeps coming off. I gotta tighten the drill head up some more. I thought I had it tight. See if I can do it now. Gosh damn it. Keeps loosening up on me. I don't have a hammer drill or biggers. This is all I've got. So this is what I'm using. Could use a pair of pliers. A bit tighter. Yeah, of course. These on here. These keyless chucks aren't always the answer. Alright, let's try this again. Whoa. Should be good. Freaking oil everywhere when I did that, but you can see. So next we're gonna adjust the valves. Alright, so adjust these valves. I'm gonna show you how I do it. I seen a video of a machine shop. Guy does it the same way. Basically, we're gonna go through all these and spin the push rods to where there's basically zero lash, to where you can basically it's barely spin the push rods. And I'll end up going around about 4 different times or something. But once I get all those adjusted, then I'll go back through and not even have to turn it and give it my 5/8 3/4 turn for the final adjustment. Let's see, I need to get my bolt for the crank. So we got that. Set this up. Alright, so like I say, we're gonna have to go through and we're gonna spin these. So I've pretty much pumped pump oil up, so my cam's not dry anymore. So because some of these are on their up travel, that's why I'm loosening some of them back up. Basically, the end goal should be the nuts on top should be down almost equal on all the intakes and then all the exhaust valves once I actually get them done. My daughter went to Plymouth with her mom because I got the pit boss going for pulled pork, and then gonna make enchiladas. So I'm just going through, checking these. If they spin, then I'm going to tighten them down, and we're going to keep doing that. Too far. Alright, so now I'm going to rotate the crank 90 degrees, and we're going to do it all again. Do that again. Loose. All right, I'm gonna rotate her another 90. And do it all over again. Should be getting close on this. Let's see. Trying to do the best I can on the filming. It's not as good as a lot of them people. And go around again. This goes a lot faster than what it's looking in the video. It's just hard to explain something while you're doing it. It kind of slows the process down. Good. That one. A little loose. Alright, so we're pretty close now. What I was talking about earlier, when they get about adjusted, then the nuts should be all pretty close to each other, and you can see that they about are. I still need to go around about three more turns. And check this one here. Looking good. Rotate it again. Go back through. That's the hair. I asked the machine shop on my final adjustment, and he said about 5/8 to 3/4 of final turn is what he told me. I know if you're running a high RPM engine, you're gonna do about quarter to half turn, and that's because the it doesn't really give the lifter any time to decompress or whatever, something to that effect. They're constantly going up and down, so basically they're gonna almost stay smashed or hard or whatever. Alright, so this should be the final check. Just set this little hair. just a smidge. Not too far. You want to be able to barely spin these push rods without putting any pressure on the rocker at all. Alright, so I'm going to give it one complete revolution. And then we're going to check. That should have done it. Stay here on this one. Too. Alright, so I'm gonna spin this around again. And we should be good on all. Alright, so that should do it for that. Now we're gonna go on all of them. About 3/4 of a turn. So if I start up here, I'm going to end here. Oops. Quarter. Quarter there. so there's the valves. Next, looks like we would probably get into the intake. Alright, so I got the intake on. They're in quarter inch or so bead of silicone along that edge. This edge, I put some on water jackets. I put thread locker or thread sealer on the bolts. I'm putting a lift bracket on there. I'm gonna put one there. So that's all done. I'm in the process of getting a water pump, getting a thermostat and gaskets. I've got the power steering pump alternator. It's going to go on. Bad news is nobody seems to be watching these videos, so either they're that poor or they suck or nobody's interested in engine building or whatever. It's not very exciting. Well, it's not very exciting filming it when you're trying to do it. It could have had the engine already built. So I'm not gonna waste my time. It's killing the battery on my Galaxy S9, taking up space. I'm having to do all kinds of stuff just to try to make something of what I'm doing. So this will be the last video about the engine or what have you. I may do some here and there if my pit boss grill, smoking something, cooking something on the 4-burner deluxe griddle. I don't know, but this is it. I'm not wasting my phone battery and time and all this stuff. Trying to do the best I can. So later.